Hello everybody, welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we're talking about the PlayStation 5, specifically a very nice and easy, pretty simple upgrade to make with your PlayStation 5. So if you're anything like me, you like to play games on this thing, right? There's lots of games you can play on the PlayStation 5. Some are actually optimized, and then some are, still PS4 titles. But one thing that's not great about this console, one thing I think everyone can agree on, is it doesn't have enough storage. With the size of today's games, such as Call of Duty and Call of Duty, well, the storage fills up really fast. Now, if you're getting one for the holidays, you're probably going to be getting a Slim edition. And the Slim models come with a terabyte of storage, which is great. Little upgrade over 825, which this is the base. This is the normal PS5. I got this back in December of 2020, and I love it. It's great. It's fast. Still fast as day one. Load times are awesome. Graphics are insane. And it looks very cool when paired with a 1440p 144 hertz monitor, which is sitting over there, which I might do in a separate video about, but this is all about a simple upgrade for the PlayStation. And yeah, if you read the title and saw the thumbnail, NVMe SSD, and this is specifically a 2 terabyte version, but hey, either way. Now the difference between getting one of these and getting one of these is that this is faster. This is going to be able to play the PS5 games. This can hold and store PS5 games because you can't play them off of this. So if you have one of these and you have a PS4, yes, you can use this on the PS5. It plugs right into the back. You have all your PS4 games. You can save PS5 games to it and you can offload them to this. When you want to actually play them, you got to upload them back to the internal storage. So that's where this comes in. This goes into the PlayStation in one of the side panels, and then it just sits there, and you really kind of forget about it. It's really a set and forget thing versus this, which you have to lug around with the PlayStation. Now, on another note, I have had this since I had the PS4, this is probably sitting around 4 or 5 years old at this point. It's a hard drive, not an SSD. And yeah, it makes quite a bit of noise, surprisingly. I didn't realize it did because I finally played with headphones off for the first time in a while. It does make a lot of noise, but it still works. So if you really just need storage for your PS4 games, go ahead and pick up one of these or an external SSD. I'd probably get an SSD nowadays, but hey, back in the day, this is pretty cheap, and this I think is like a terabyte, maybe it's 2 terabytes. By the way, I've had this one for so long. It's WD. I like them. They're a good brand, and I've had zero issues with this. Even though this is turned off multiple times, it's been transported around, including this thing, and there's been no failures whatsoever. Sure, it's had to repair a disc a few times, but very little issues. But anyways, I'm going to walk you through very quickly how to install this thing. You simply take off the side panel, you unscrew something, you put this in, you slot it in, and then you put the thing back on top and you screw it in. Now, let's go do that. Now, once you have all your stuff, your little SSD, your PlayStation 5 console, obviously, and then a screwdriver. I'm using a Leatherman, but you can use really anything you want. All you're going to need to do is take off this base plate, which you can do very simply. You can use a quarter or some type of coin if you'd like. It's really up to you. It's pretty easy to take off. I use a coin most of the time. I can't find one right now, so we're going to use Phillips head, but you really don't even need this. You can use anything to take it off. So simply take it off. Try not to scratch the bottom of your PlayStation. That'd be unfortunate. And once you have this off, just set it to the side anywhere. Just make sure you don't lose that screw because you're kind of going to need it. If you really want to, you could put it in this little side pocket that they have included, but I'm not going to worry doing that. Okay, let's talk about the positioning of the console. I have a disc edition PS5, so if you have this newer model, you can follow along fairly easy. If not, it's the same steps as if you have a slim version. You're just taking off 2 panels instead of 1, I think. You might want to look that up because I don't necessarily have that, and I forget where the bay is on the new slim model, but either way, for the slim model, I think you're just taking off this top cover. For this model, all the ones look like this. You're taking off this one. So positioning your PlayStation, look for the PlayStation logo. That's going to go face down. And then your I/O, your buttons, and the ports are going to go facing away from you. Now this part's a little tricky. You simply have to put your hands here and here, roughly, and you're going to lift gently and slide it. You're just trying to slide the console cover off. It's kind of like up and out that way. I'll try to do it on camera. If I don't get it on camera, that's how you do it. Okay, and just like that, you can see all the little pieces I was talking about. You got some cool Easter eggs on here, which you can see when the cover's actually on. But yeah, when you actually have this on, you really want to emphasize putting your fingers here. I found that worked for me. And propping it against my leg helped too, giving it something so you could pull down on. It really does come up and across like that. Not down, just across like that. So you're gonna want to do the reverse motion of that when you put the console back on, console cover back on. But hey, look, here you go. As you can see, mine's a little dusty because it has been opened up in the 3 years I've had it. But if I had some spray, I would use that, but I don't have any right now. This is what we're looking for, the expansion slot right here. So go ahead and unscrew that. You're gonna need a Phillips head screwdriver, which I do have, but it looks very small. So make sure you have a small Phillips head screwdriver. And then once you have it out, you're just gonna try to pull this bay out. And if you lean on that side, it kind of just falls out. Make sure you don't lose the screw though, because you are going to need it. Technically, I was supposed to tell you, you need to make sure you guys have your PlayStation 5 updated before you do this, but by now, this update's been out for well over a year. People probably have their PlayStations updated, so it's not that big of a worry. Anyways, once you have it opened, you can go and open your SSD, and you're just gonna simply slot it in right here, which I'll show in just a second. And now that you have your side plate off, it's all good to go, and you have opened your external SSD, well, sorry, not external, it's internal, but your little SSD, that's what you have right here. You're gonna notice these numbers. You don't really need to pay attention to the numbers, but when you put this in, you're gonna notice that this up here lines up with this, and that's what you need up here, is this. There's a little screw up there and a little spacer. You're gonna need to unscrew it and take that screw out so you can use it in a second. And once you remove the screw, you're gonna have a screw and a little spacer. Make sure not to drop these in the fan or anywhere else because you're gonna need these. So, depending on your SSD, I think some of them don't need the spacer, some might. I don't know if mine does, it might. You're just gonna try to align these pins on the bottom with these pins down here. And you'll see once you start to fit it in that you'll know where the screw needs to go. All you need to do is kind of go in at a diagonal angle like this, and you're just gonna kind of force it in there. You don't need to shove it, but firmly press it into the slot. And once it's in, you'll kind of hear a little click, a little snap, and then you just have to make sure your spacer's there. I'm gonna try it with the spacer first and see if it needs it. It looks like it does, so I'm gonna use the spacer. Just put it on a little hole. You can see mine's just right there, just above. And then you're gonna take the screw, hopefully you didn't lose it, right here, and you're just gonna simply put it in there and screw it in. And at this point, you're pretty much done. You're gonna do the same steps in reverse order, and then you'll boot up the PlayStation 5. And then once you get the little click, the satisfying click you need, that's it. It's all done hardware-wise. And once you plug in the PlayStation, you'll see the little menu on screen, which I'll walk you through right now. And now that the PlayStation 5 is on, it's over there, you can see this screen, which is just talking about the M.2 SSD storage. Now look, it does tell you you can't save data, screenshots, and video clips onto the storage, which is a little unfortunate, but you're gonna be moving all your games over there. So you'll have free storage to be able to take screenshots and video clips and have more saved data, which saved data has never been an issue for me, but hey. You just have to format the SSD, and this is the first thing that happens when you plug in an SSD and then use this. So simply just press, you're gonna format it, it's gonna format it. It might take a little while, it might not. It doesn't look like it's gonna take that long, which is great. And then once it's actually done, here it is. It tells you its read speed, which is, for me, 6519, which is pretty good. I think the minimum they want you to have is 5500, so 6500 is a nice little increase over the minimum. But if something says it's made for PS5, you're probably okay getting it. It's been formatted. You can go and you can select where you need to change the installation location. And then if you want to remove the M.2 SSD for some reason, if you need to upgrade your storage, you do the same exact steps and you remove it. But let's quickly run over to settings and see what it says. So I'm just going to log in. And now that I'm in, we're going to go up and over to settings. We're going to go down to storage, which is right here. And you can see M.2 SSD shows up. And it can actually read the actual SSD I have in there right now. I don't know how it does that, but it can. And it knows it's with heatsink, which is also interesting. I do have USB extended storage, which is the device I was showing earlier. I just don't have it plugged in right now. And you can use all three storage things the same way. You can have your console storage going, and your M.2 SSD, and your USB extended storage. So, and then you change your installation location here, which now I'm going to change this to the M.2 SSD. So anything I download now will go straight to the SSD and set up on the console, which is great. Obviously there's something in there right now, but my console storage is pretty much full. I literally can't download anything else. And you want to know why? It's because of Call of Duty. And that's it. That's pretty much the entire video. That's how you install the storage, how you change the installation location for your games. That's pretty much it. You can now go and download all the PlayStation 5 games you want. And you can be sure I'm going to be downloading the next 5 Call of Duties onto that storage. And then I'm going to need more because it's going to take up all the storage. Anyways, hope you guys had a good time watching this video. If it was helpful, leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know what I can do to improve the quality of these videos. Anyways, guys, have a good day. See you guys in the next one.